to Bridgecity Speedway. Bob Hickaway along with my color man today, Dave Mansell. We're at Bridgecity Speedway for day 2 of the Street Stock Invitational here. We are taping this from Sunday, July 26th. Of course, the action started Saturday night, the 25th, and what a night that was. And we're having just as good today, a day today. It clouded over for a wee bit into the race since the intermission, though. The sun has come back out, and Dave, it's actually gotten kind of muggy here at Bridgecity Speedway, and the heat, again, has gone up, and that should create more tire problems, maybe some engine problems, as we head towards the 3 feature races here this afternoon. The Street Stock, of course, the invitational feature race will be sponsored by Village Auto Sales. The Super Stock feature, 25 laps, and the Thunder Cars will go 15 laps for Brian McElwee and his crew at the Travel Ride-In in Martinsville. As you could probably hear in the background, we're just finishing up the Super Stock consolation race, and then we'll get into the first of the Street Stock winners. Now, Dave Mansell, you tell me that normally the top 3 get into the Street Stock winners race, but today it's the top 5 from each of the 3 heats, which we already showed you earlier, and we'll tell you about that. But earlier today, we talked with the king of the flagmen, and that, of course, is Rick Elliott, and let's see that interview right now. Standing in front of Victory Lane here at Bridgecity Speedway with the head flagman here for the Saskatoon Stock Car Club, and that's Rick Elliott. Rick, after a brief sabbatical, I know you said you'd never return, and after night 1, Saturday, July 25th, I bet you probably think, why did you come back, eh? Because we had a lot of cars out here. We had a 28 or 29 car feature. Was that create any extra problems for you?
Yeah, it was kind of hard keeping track of all the operations that are going on and trying to keep track of who caused what as far as accidents were concerned, and keeping track with the rules on the track was it was a little difficult at times. With
stock car races here from all over Saskatchewan and Alberta, you have to sort of get together with everybody and say, okay, here are the rules in Saskatoon. Did that create any problems for you?
Yeah, we had our original pit meeting right after the time trials, and I run through the lights, the operation, my flags, how I handle them, and what I expected of the drivers. And after the first half, it was really wild, so I turned around and I held another emergency meeting at halftime and told them either clean up their act or we'll go the other route by disqualifications all the way through. It's a case of money on the track and giving the fans what they're looking for.
You mentioned a word, punting, last night in talking with your meeting. What exactly does punting mean?
This is where we get the lead cars or somebody's going around the track and they can't get by the guys, so they decide to give them a little hit on the back end and either try to warn them to move over and let them by, or if they hit them too hard, it's very easy for the guy to lose control and he causes a spin, and as soon as that is, it's game over. We had a black flag yesterday which caused a disqualification on number 97, and that's exactly what happened. He hit him, the car spun out, and it was automatic black because he took the guy right out of the race.
Okay, speaking of the flags, we're standing in front of a series of flags here, and are these all the flags that you would use in stock car racing?
Yeah, both classes, all classes, they're all the same. Yeah.
Okay, let's take in from the left to the right. We start off with the green flag. Exactly what does the green flag indicate in stock car racing?
The green flag is your automatic start. As soon as the green flag comes down from the flagman, the cars are underway in the race meet.
Now, is this green flag used for anything other than starting or strictly a starting?
No, it's strictly your start flag.
Okay, moving along, let's take in there, we have the white flag, which you could just hold up and tell us what that means.
All this is doing for us is telling the cars that there's 1 lap left before the checkered. And this is where the lead cars, or if there's 2 cars in contention, that they got 1 lap to go to see if who's going to win the race.
Okay, then next to that we have the red flag.
The red flag and the caution flag sort of run together. This is the regular caution. This comes out when there's an accident on the track, and I've got to slow them down so that we can clear the track area of all the cars and debris. And if it's really a serious accident, I'll bring out the red and the yellow together, and the red tells them that they've got to stop as safe as possible in case I need the ambulance or whatever.
Okay, while we're on the red and the checkered, this amber-orange flag together, have we had any serious accidents since you've been working here at Bridgecity Speedway?
Nothing really serious, but the main thing is that as far as safety on the track with all the other drivers, the caution flag is always the major flag that comes out. The serious ones like for example, the closest we get to serious, and that's a rollover. As soon as I have a rollover, I got to stop the cars and call the ambulance out just to make sure the driver's okay. I mean, the cars are pretty safe with the roll bars and the seat belts, but there's still the unexpected part on any type of rollover.
Okay, now we get to what I guess the racers would call the nasty flag, and that would be, I guess it's just a solid black flag here.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
Go ahead, explain.
This here's the disqualification flag, and if I have it such rolled up like such and pointed to the car, in other words, all he's doing is getting a warning. But if I bring it out full and point it to the car, he's finished. He's got a disqualification for some unknown reason, and after the races, or his pit crew can come over and ask one of the tech committee with the radios to find out why he got the black. I'll explain it to him probably after the race, and if they want to fight about it, that's their problem. There isn't much they can do, because once I make the call, it's over. If they feel it was somebody else's fault, I didn't see that part. I call what I see, and this is the major one that does it. After they get the black, they're really in trouble because they got to start at the back of the pack for the rest of the race meet.
Right, now we've got a black flag here with an orange dot in it. What does this mean?
This here's your mechanical fault flag. In other words, we got a car that could be dragging a bumper or leaking gas or oil. I got to do the same thing, point it to the car, give him that, and he's got to hit for the pits right away to find out what's wrong with the car and why he can't race.
A flag that I've never seen used here at Bridgecity Speedway. It's the blue flag.
You'll see more of this. It's kind of hard in the street, especially with the type of field we got going for the past 2 days. And this here is to let the slow car hold his position or move out because he knows the fast cars are coming up. And when I say the fast cars, I mean the lead cars. Okay. The 1, 2s, and 3s, whoever's leading the race. Once they start lapping, they get this so that they hold their position, or they'll pull off to the high side and let the fast cars go by. And the past 2 days, like yesterday, with the amount of cars we got, there's no way I can do this because everybody's in contention, and the fast cars are lapping about 3 or 4 times. So if they come up to some slow cars and there's about 3 or 4 of them, each car is bucking for position, so it's very seldom you'll see the blue.
I bet you I know what this means.
Yeah.
You want to play some checkers?
Yeah, this here's the major one. Everybody's looking for this one. This here's your main flag of the whole thing. Once this is down, the race is over, and whoever gets it wins the race and the prize money and the points and everything else.
Ideally, Rick, you say that you probably like to have somewhere in the neighborhood of, what, 15 or 20 cars going around. You had, I think, 28, 29, close to 30 going in the first street stock feature. Does that create extra problems for you?
Oh yeah, like I only got 2 sets of eyes, and I got Bryce up there with me as an assistant, and we can only see so much. And last night was a prime example. There was a lot of bunting, there was a lot of kicking or sort of thing from the tail. And I can, once the cars get spread out, like last night with, I think there was 32 in the feature, and the track is only a 3rd oval. And I got cars all the way around. It's not just in a certain area or a pack. They're all spread out. So it's kind of hard to keep track of what's going on and who's doing what. And once the caution comes out, it's kind of hard for me to turn around and say, okay, you caused this caution, which really in reality I can't because I'm watching too many cars at the same time. So usually what we'll do if the car is bunged up or smashed that he's got to come off and he's on the track, I'll call the caution. And if they start complaining about who did what, there isn't much I can do about it because, like I say, I can only see so much. If I catch it, I'll do it. If I don't, you know, they gotta wait.
Okay, Rick Elliott, an admirable job here as chief flagman at Bridgecity Speedway, and now let's return to the action. Well, the wind has actually changed direction, Dave. I notice now the flags are coming straight off the infield now. Before they were blowing left to right. And here we go with the 15-car street stock winners race. Maybe you could quickly run down who we'll see. We'll see number 17, of course, who is Darrell Levine. Number 7, Scott Robbins out of Regina.
Okay, and some of the other cars, Wes Gaken and the Peppy Ice Cream car, car number 5. Outside of him is Jim Smith in car number 1. In the 2nd row inside, we have Mace Knudten, car number 88. Outside is Kevin Eby in car number 9. Of course, the young son of veteran racer Wally Eby. B.J. Wilson, car number 13. Henry or Gerald Zacharias in car number 21. Rounding out the 3rd row, Dave Bone in car 38. Inside, outside, the only lady racing in street stock class in Western Canada, Marilyn Jackson, car 48. Terry Lay out of Saskatoon in 87, Bob, and outside is Ray Udegaard in car 19. Okay. I'd just like to take a moment and say a special thank you to Red Lindgren, the used car sales manager for Men's Toyota. Graciously provided the pace car, which has been pacing the field here today. So many thanks to Red Lindgren and the fine folks up at Im's Toyota on Ventura Crescent here in Saskatoon.
And a thank you to our crew from Telecable 10 today. Paul Panchuk, Dave Presti, Dwayne Tozer, and of course, your director-producer today, Fern Detillieu. Did I get that right?
I think you did a fine job on that, Bob. The rest of the field in this street stock winners race, we've got Wally Eby in car number 3, Charlie Curtin in car number 97.
Car number 93 is Charlie Curtin.
Pardon me, car 93 is Charlie Curtin, right you are. Car 7 is Scott Robbins out of Regina. 97, of course, Brian Wilson, now running with the Rosetown Stock Car Club in car 97. We've got Brian Southgate in car number 27, Brian Johnson.
86, Brian Johnson.
Right.
I think that looks after the 15-car field for the winners race. To see Rick Elliott puts down the green flag, and we're off for 15 laps of the winners race. So these are the fastest cars out here today. And here they go around the first bend. There's lots of oil on the track. There's a T-bone right there.
Number 1, number 2 corner.
Already what was that? Number 9, I believe, Kevin Eby.
Yes,
and hooks up with Maryland Jack.
Caution flag has come out.
Caution flag is out, and they'll have a restart because that happened in the first turn of the first lap, so they'll realign them. And this, of course, is when we run into the problems, of course, when we slow down and stop. I don't think they'll have any need to do any track repairs or anything like that because it was a simple T-bone affair, but they'll have to reline them, and that's always fun when you got more than 15 cars. I know that for the feature race this afternoon, we're going to have upwards of 25 cars, and boy, that'll be fun.
Organized chaos, or perhaps call it disorganized chaos, Bob.
Well, we got a moment. Let's go. This is part 2 of a 2-day meeting for the street stocks, and going into the final feature race, Wally Eby in his 1977 Camaro has 42 points to lead the way. But hot on his tail is Brian Wilson in his 64 Chevelle number 97, who has 33 points. Then they start to get bunched up fairly closely. Mace Canute, number 88, 27 points. Jim Smith, number 1 in his 74 Nova, 25 points. Two fellas tied for 5th. Scott Robbins of Regina and Derek Cann of Melford each had 23 points, but earlier today, Derek Cann had an engine fire and in fact cooked his engine, so he won't be around for the second half of the program today. Rounding up the rest of the top 10, we have Daryl Kozer of Regina and Terry Lay of Saskatoon at 22 points each. Charlie Curtin, number 93, in a 75 Firebird, 21 points. Gary Swykenson of Prince Albert in a 78 Chevelle, 19 points. And Trevor Affeld in a Mustang, the only Ford in the top 10, I believe, number 65 with 17 points.
That's right, Bob. We're only seeing 2 Fords run in the street stock class this afternoon. Car, I believe it's 46. Michael Pethick out of Elstow in a 71 Mustang, and Trevor Affeld 65.
Tell me, Dave, why do you think it is that GMs are the most popular stock cars?
Well, Bob, I think it's got a lot to do with availability of parts.
Is it really?
I really do. I think that when they come from the manufacturer, I'm sure the cars are quite equal, but GM, I think the parts are available everywhere at a reasonable cost.
Yeah.
And they're just easier to get.
There is a Dodge running. John Taranich Jr. is running in a Dodge, I believe. Is
yes,
he not?
I believe he is in the Thunder class.
Thunder class. But John also raced in the streets last year. In a Dodge, in a Mopar.
I think you're right.
Yeah, and that was the only Dodge on the track, except for the Cordova with Garth Hazelhurst in the Supers.
The perennial All-Star Garth Hazelhurst in his Dodge Daytona this year.
And we will see him in the Super Stock feature race today, because we will bring you the 3 main feature races today: the Thunders, the Supers, and of course the Street Stock for all the money.
I would like to mention, Bob, that the Super Stocks are hosting their own invitational later this summer. Actually, the dates are September the 5th and 6th. We'll be featuring cars from Saskatoon, Alberta, possibly in from BC and Manitoba as well. September the 5th and the 6th, right here at Bridgecity Speedway for our Super Stock invitational.
There's Rick Elliott telling the drivers where they must line up for the restart, and it will be an official restart all the way from lap 1 to lap 15.
This is what eats up the time and sometimes makes our program run a little long. Unavoidable. Everyone wants to get up there and get racing for that checkered, and they get a little eager sometimes.
Now Rick's got a red flag out there, and he says, let's get going, fellas, and in fact, here they go. So we got the Pepe's car, number 5, and Jim Smith in number 1. Leading the pack, Mace Canute there, B.J. Wilson, the Zacharias machine is out there. So is number 38. Dave Bone of Saskatoon in the front 6. But you know, as we've said before, the big race may be in the back, where we have number 19, Ray Utegard, number 3, Wally Eby, number 97, Brian Wilson. Wilson, of course, and fighting Wally Eby for the overall points award here this weekend. So let's keep a close eye on the back of the pack here in this race as we watch the fellas make their way up to the front, and they will do it. They will do it. You can count on it.
There's some tremendous driving exhibited by these fellas as they work their way through the traffic from their starting position up to the front of the pack. Quite often, as you say, Bob, the action is in the pack.
Yeah, it's in the middle of the pack, and we'll keep a close eye for you on number 19.
One of the drivers out there that has a real knack for seeming to know where to go is Ray Udegaard in car number 19, Bob. Last night in the feature race, uncanny ability to get through the traffic.
Exactly. Here they go. Now we got a restart from Rick Elliott and Bryce Young in the flagman's booth there. And right around corner number 1, oh, they made it. How about that? Into number 2 in the backstretch, and we have a race. Right off the bat, Wes Skaken has taken a fairly good lead, and there's Brian Wilson in the back already making moves. Him and Udegaard will probably battle it out to see who can go. Now, last night they followed each other, them and Eby and Curtin. You have to keep an eye on that middle pack. We can get a shot of that as we watch number 19, Ray Udegaard.
That's right, Bob. I would also suggest that car number 3 bears watching Wally Eby.
Yeah.
There's the master of the oval racing here in Saskatoon.
Ray Udegaard, and Charlie Curtin is also making a move now, and he's moved up from the back to about number 6th place, and we'll see if he can make some moves. And Ray Udegaard right on his tail in number 6 spot. So you've got your leaders, you've got your Pepe's Machine and Mace Canute leading 1-2, and number 38 is Dave Bone of Saskatoon in 3rd place, but the pack is starting to close in on him, and Charlie Curtin now moves into 5th place as he passes number 87, Terry Lay. And now Ray Udegaard working on the inside is trying to get ahead too. Charlie Curtin in on off the track, very close to being off the track, trying to get a good hold of the inside.
For the battle between Dave Bone and Mace Canute in 38 and 88 as they fight it up to that 2nd spot.
Still leading is Wes Skaken, number 5. Mace Canute in 2nd place, number 88. Number 38 still 3rd. Let's see now what the other fellas are doing. Ray Udegaard is trailing Charlie Curtin, trying to get into 4th place. They're starting to spread out a wee bit now. Charlie Curtin trying to catch the rest of the field. He's back in 4th place. Having trouble moving around some of the traffic, some of the slower traffic here.
Brian Southgate, our top timeman today, working his way up through the field in car number 27.
Battle for 2nd place right now as number 38 Dave Bone has taken over from Mace Canute, but we'll see how long that continues as they go into corner number 2 down the straightaway. It's still Pepe's Machine, Wes Skaken. Now 38 and 88 are having a battle for 2nd place, with Ray Udegaard now coming up into 4th place. Wally Eby in 5th, and Charlie Curtin coming up in 5th place. Number 87, Terry Lay in 6th, and then the rest of the field.
Charlie Curtin obviously having handling problems in 93. Something's broke on his suspension, I would suggest.
Pulling off. He's pulling off the drag, the strip rather. He almost called it a drag strip. So it's Wes Skaken in number 5 continuing to hang on to the lead, and he's about ready to lap number 9 there, and that's Kevin Eby. Followed by number 38 now in 2nd place, Dave Bone. Then we have number 19, Ray Udegaard, fighting with Mace Canute for 3rd, and I think he got him on the inside. On corner number 4, coming down the straight, Mace Canute has taken over sole possession of 3rd place now, with Wally Eby hot on his tracks as he takes over from Mace Canute. So Mace running into some problems too. Now Kevin Eby starts to get lapped by the rest of the field. Here comes number 1, still Wes Skaken, Dave Bone, Ray Udegaard in that order, 1, 2, 3. It's a 15-lap winner's race, and we're just finishing the 11th lap, coming into lap number 12, and that's the way she sits right now.
You can see a lot of ground being made up by Dave Bone as he pulls right up on the bumper. That's car number 5. Ray Udegaard as well in 19 is moving right up there with B.J. Wilson.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but has B.J. Wilson not been lapped?
He has.
Okay, so it's one. In fact, Ray Udegaard is in 3rd place here.
He is, in fact, correct. He is in 3rd, rather.
Wes Skaken continues to hang on to 1st place, but look at the race he's getting now from Dave Bone. Dave will try to get him on the inside. Look for him to take over the lead if he can, because he's only got about 2 laps to do it.
It'll be quite interesting with the slower traffic in the way of the drivers as they have to get through the traffic. And
they'll get the white flag this time. It's Wes Gaken, Dave Bone, and then Ray Udegaard. Ray Udegaard trying to get ahead of Dave Bone for second place. Wes Gaken now looks like he should finish the race here. I don't know what happened, but he got ahead all of a sudden. So it'll be Wes Gaken, Dave Bone, Ray Udegaard, and Wally Eby in that order, if that's the way they stay to the end here. That'll be it. Gaken, Bone, Udegaard, and Wally Eby. And then Mace Canute in 5th place, I believe, is how they finished. And right at the end of the race, number 1 car just flew right off the track here inside corner number 3.
Southgate,
That's Southgate? Yeah.
27.
We should mention that Brian Southgate of North Battleford received a black flag in a dash, which means he will have to start in last place in the feature race. And here he was, the fastest qualifier, too, today.
Bit of tough luck for Brian.
Yeah. Now, Rick Wilson served notice. Well, not Rick Wilson, but Rick Elliott served notice early last night. He had a special emergency drivers meeting, said, fellas, none of this, and none of this, or you're out of it. And he served notice quickly on Brian Southgate of North Battleford, who's now relegated to start in last place when the feature race indeed starts.
Well, Rick does a real good job of keeping control of the races. He doesn't let the drivers dictate to him how to flag. He keeps control of the operation and does an excellent job.
Okay, the next race.